Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning into today's video. We have more PlayStation news, rumors and leaks to go over. Please hit that like button if you enjoy the video, and if you're new here to the channel, please consider subscribing. So we are starting off here with AMD, who recently celebrated the release of FidelityFX Super Resolution 4, also known as FSR 4, a new upscaling technology designed to enhance game visuals without sacrificing performance. Now, in a post on X, AMD specifically acknowledged Sony Interactive Entertainment for its role in the development of this technology, referencing a joint project known as Project Amethyst. Now, Project Amethyst, announced in December 2024, is a collaboration between AMD and Sony focused on machine learning-based graphical enhancement. The development of FSR 4 was shaped in part by Sony PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution algorithms, also known as PSSR algorithms, which contributed to the upscaler's ability to refine image quality. The partnership is particularly noteworthy as it may hint at the fundamental hardware of the PlayStation 6. Now, while Sony has not explicitly mentioned the PS6 in relation to this new Project Amethyst, it is widely speculated that the research and advancements made in this joint effort will contribute to the architecture of Sony's next generation console. Now, historically, Sony and AMD, they go back a long way. They've maintained a strong relationship, strong partnership dating back to the PS4 era. In fact, an AMD executive previously stated that Sony's decision to use AMD hardware for the PS4 played a crucial role in pulling AMD back from the brink of financial disaster. With this continued collaboration, we can expect cutting-edge innovations for the PS6, which could potentially launch in 2028, as hinted by former Sony executive Shuhei Yoshida in a recent interview. It's great to see AMD recognize and acknowledge the role that the PSSR tech inside the PS5 Pro has played in helping to further develop the AMD technology. And remember, this iteration of the PSSR tech is still very early in its life cycle as we progress and move forward in time. The features, AI, upscaling technology, and learning capabilities will only improve and strengthen in terms of what the PSSR tech is capable of doing by the time the PS6 comes out in a few years' time. Okay, let's move on. The upcoming action-adventure game Hell Is Us is set to launch on PS5 and other current-gen platforms 2025. This is one game I am really looking forward to. It's developed by Rogue Factor. This title aims to deliver a truly immersive and challenging experience for players. During the Nacon Connect March 2025 showcase, a new gameplay trailer was revealed for the game. Now, unlike most modern games that hold players' hands with waypoints, objective markers, and detailed minimaps, Hell Is Us takes an entirely different approach. There are no quest trackers, there are no directional indicators, and no excessive hints, just the player and the world around them, which to me sounds absolutely fantastic, where you'll have to discover and learn about the world that you're in. While this may sound difficult for some, especially those that have gotten used to having markers and lots of indicators to help them get through the game, to me this sounds brilliant, and it's a great way to fully immerse yourself into the game. Rogue Factor is deliberately designing Hell Is Us to challenge players to explore and discover solutions on their own. The game's unforgiving nature is reminiscent of classic arcade titles that demand skill and patience. And while previous trailers emphasized intense melee combat, the latest reveal showcases the game's deeper mechanics requiring observation, deduction, and exploration. And with its blend of modern visuals and old school difficulty, Hell Is Us could be one of the most intriguing releases of the year. The game is definitely on my radar, and I cannot wait to give this a try when it's out later this year in September. Let me know your thoughts on this style of gameplay. So let's move on. Sony Interactive Entertainment continues to invest in live service games despite facing massive setbacks with recent releases. While Helldivers 2 found great success, still had controversy, but it did find massive success. Concord was an absolute train wreck and struggled to gain traction, forcing Sony to reevaluate its approach. However, Sony isn't backing down from the live service market just yet. And a recent job listing for a PlayStation game systems designer at Sony's newly established Los Angeles studio, this suggests that another ambitious multiplayer project is currently in development. The listing specifically mentions cooperative multiplayer design principles, indicating that this title will focus on co-op gameplay rather than competitive multiplayer. This aligns with previous rumors that Sony's new LA studio, which is reportedly to be working on a AAA original IP game. The studio is rumored to be led by Jason Blundell, a former Call of Duty developer who previously headed up the Deviation Games studio before its closure in 2023. And after the studio closed in 2023, several former Deviation developers reportedly joined Blundell at PlayStation under Blundell's leadership. Sony's live service ambitions have faced numerous hurdles, as we know, leading to internal restructuring. And according to industry insider Jeff Grubb, Sony has significantly reduced its number of live service games, even cancelling quite a few, including a multiplayer God of War title that was in development at Bluepoint Games. Sony is now reassessing its strategy to ensure only the strongest live service games move forward. While Sony has not officially announced details about the new project, the emphasis on cooperative gameplay suggests that it may take a different approach from traditional live service games. If handled correctly, the new title could potentially become a major addition to PlayStation's first-party lineup. Look, I've said before on many previous videos that the live service model is not for everyone, definitely not for me. It's not for everyone. And if Sony is just jumping on the bandwagon because they have to have their own live service offering, I think that's a very tough ask and difficult to deliver because they're not making anything different or unique. The live service model, personally, as I've said, it's not my cup of tea. It's a really saturated place right now. Many games are struggling to compete in this space. Live service games are typically free to play and then generate revenue through microtransactions. So if Sony really want to compete in the live service space, then they're either going to have to make something innovative and deliver a game that is truly unique. And historically, designing innovative and different games is traditionally what Sony has been good at doing. Or they're going to have to release their live service game as a free-to-play game and hope that players buy into whatever their gameplay style is. However, this type of investment could have their studio working on the content for several years, which is something Sony that really needs to take account of, because it's something Naughty Dog didn't want to do with their live service offering of The Last of Us multiplayer. They didn't want to make that game for several years. It would have meant that they were not able then to spend time working on different games and new IP. So it's a really difficult payoff. Personally, like I said, live service and multiplayer game, really not my cup of tea. I'd much rather prefer a single player story-driven game where the devs have taken the time to deliver a brilliant game. Personally, I'd much rather prefer to go back and play the Uncharted games, Last of Us games, God of War, Halo, Ghost of Tsushima, Gears of War, Red Dead Redemption, GTA single player games. I'd rather play any of those games than play a live service or multiplayer game, but that's just me. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below on the topics discussed in today's video. Thank you for watching, and if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll catch you on the next video.